YouTube, what is good? Hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday out there. Today we are talking about composition mistakes that every photographer makes at some point in their career. So today I'm going to run through these mistakes with you. I'm going to show you examples of me making this mistake and then examples of me fixing the mistake, what I changed in the photo to make it a much better photograph, make the composition better. Now this video is a direct response to an Instagram DM that someone asked me asking for a video about composition help. So as always, if you have other questions, if you want to see other videos, feel free to drop them below in the comments at any point during this video. And also guys, do me a solid, if you're enjoying this video, hit that thumbs up button at any time. I would greatly appreciate it. So without waiting any longer, let's get into these mistakes. Mistake number one is something that I like to call double subjecting. Essentially, this is when you're taking a photo and you have a person in the photo and you also have an interesting item in the background. And what you do is you try to just put them side by side, basically double subjecting. You want to have two subjects in the photo. This is bad because it confuses your eye when you're looking at the picture. You're looking at the photo, and in our example, it's like, do I look at Katie or do I look at this waterfall? Like, what am I supposed to be looking at? You as the photographer, you're like, yo, I want to show these people like Katie's in front of this waterfall. But there's a more efficient, better way to go about this to get both subjects in the photo, but in a much more appealing, less eyeball confusing way. Here's my correction of that photo right here. What I did in this one, Katie is still doing the same thing. I directed her, I said, hey, walk across this log, keep your balance. I think it would be a cool shot. But what I've done in this photo is I tucked the waterfall behind her shoulder. I used a lower aperture to create a little bit of depth of field. So now she is in the foreground of the photo and the waterfall is in the background of the photo. Whereas before we had the waterfall and Katie both basically on the same plane of the photo. So now we've created two layers in the image. We got the waterfall in the back, her in the front. This just makes a much more appealing and easy to understand image when you're looking at it. The key to composition is no eyeball confusion. You want to look at the photo and just everything feels nice. It flows nice. You're not like scanning the picture trying to figure out exactly what you're supposed to be looking at. That is the key to composition. It's like a little bit of feng shui, I guess you could say. Now, mistake number two is a common mistake. It is having your subject look outside of the frame, dividing your photo in half. Here's our example right here. We got Katie. We were out hiking. I was like, yo, those braids are looking cool. We're by this river right here. So I had her look off to the side. My problem is I framed it wrong. I double subjected. I tried to get the river and I tried to get her as well with the braids. The problem being, because she's facing the right side of the image and I have the water over here, we're now splitting our image right down the middle. Katie's looking off to the side, we have the water. It's just confusing. You don't know what you're supposed to be looking at. It's almost like looking at two photos. How do we fix that? We turn her around, we have her face into the scene to create just a nice all around, all-encompassing image. Now we got the river in there, but it just balances out nicely. You see her braids, you see her looking towards the water, so as you're looking at the photo, your eye follows directly towards there. By having your subject look into the scene, once again, you're creating a much more balanced image and you're removing eyeball confusion for someone looking at the photo. Mistake number three is called tangent lines. Essentially what this means is you have your subject and then something in the background is drawing a line through your subject, essentially just creating confusion when you're looking at the photo. You're looking at it and it's harder to identify where the subject is because these lines in the background are cutting into the photo, they're dividing up your subject. Here's our example right here. And at first we shot it with the forest being the background, but I was like, yo, all these trees, they're like causing confusion. It's hard to really make out the subject of this photo aside from the white shirt against the brown background. So what did we do? We walked a little bit of ways, we found this cool bridge right here, and we took this shot. Now this photo captures the exact same thing. We got the motion in the shirt, which I like. She's looking back, and we also have some trees in the photo to identify, you know, it's kind of like a fall cool day. The photo has the exact same vibe, but our subject is now isolated. There is nothing cutting into her, much more easy to understand, and once again, we're removing eyeball confusion from the photo. Now, onto the fourth mistake. This is the biggest mistake. Professional photographers, myself included, make this mistake all the time, and that is being lazy, the lazy composition. My favorite example of this is the pet photo test. So you ever like go over to a friend's house or you go to someone's house? In my case, I go to my parents' house. I take a picture of their dog just standing up. I take it like this, like, oh, cute little dog, bang. That is me being lazy. Here's the example right here. Look at this photo. I took of my parents' dog in their backyard. Like, it is what it is. But all it takes is me squatting down, changing the angle of the photo, and you capture this image right here. Huge difference, a much more appealing photo, a much more storytelling photo. Night and day difference, and the only thing that you changed was the angle in which you were shooting. You essentially took the extra 4 seconds to squat down instead of just standing there like, oh yeah, cute little picture of a dog. So don't be lazy. Lazy compositions will not get you anywhere. It's important to think when you are out shooting. All these things we talked about today, they're easy things to correct just with a little bit of thought, a little bit of intuitiveness when you are out making your photos. That's always the key. You just want to be thinking on your feet. So guys, that is it. 4 mistakes that all photographers make when it comes to composition. If you correct these, you avoid doing them, your photos will always look better, guaranteed. You know, like I said, guys, it's all about thinking when you're out there. And if you're a beginner watching this video and you're like, damn, you know, I mess up, I do these types of things all the time, trust me, as you progress in your career, as you shoot over the years, these things become second nature. Notice how with all the photos that I showed you today, I had a bad example and then I followed it up with a good example. That's because when I was out shooting, I realized like, oh, I made this mistake, I need to correct it. And the same thing will happen to you guys. It just takes practice, it just takes time, and eventually you won't make these mistakes anymore. So hope the video helped you. As always, guys, do me a solid, hit the thumbs up button. Like I said at the beginning of the video, drop a comment, let me know other tips, other tutorials, other things you'd like to learn about. And that's it, guys. Share the video if it helped you out. I will see you on Wednesday.
Don't speak in my gear words. Sometimes I like the tango.
Sometimes I like the tango dancing with these words. But I can't accept my thoughts, so it's getting worse. I gotta